record this.
Sean Curran's going to want to be on this at some point.
Thank you very much. Another thing I need to do here. There we go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us on our first online alumni Zoom chat. We're hoping to have a series of these this fall, and some of our athletic staff have been nice enough to volunteer to be our guinea pigs tonight. Some of our athletic students, I appreciate that. You guys taking some time tonight to give this a shot. For those who aren't presenting, if you wouldn't mind just muting your microphone for right now, because we have a series of questions we're going to ask these folks, and feel free to jump on if you have a question or type one in the chat. That's fine as well. Thank you to the athletic staff and the students for participating in this, and the audience members for being part of it tonight. My name is Keith Peeler. I am the Director of Alumni Relations. I am going into actually my third year at Husson, and a large part of my role is planning events for our alumni, and with all the changes of what's been happening around the state and the country, we're looking to shift some things online. That's why we're here tonight, since we're not able to get together face-to-face in a lot of cases. So we are going to be recording this. We're going to save this to a YouTube channel for an alumni YouTube channel that's being created. So that should be up and running in a few weeks. So as you're speaking to other alumni and other students, I'll get that link out to you guys. You can share that with others who'd like to see that later on. So let's start off with Nat and Frank. Nat, we're going to start with you. I gave my intro there. If you want to tell us just a little bit about yourself, your role, your background, anywhere you really want to take it.
All right, Keith. Well, first of all, I appreciate the opportunity tonight to get here online and connect with some people, and appreciate everybody logging in. Well, I've been here at Husson. This is my 15th fall, and I started here in 02 and coached here from 02 to just before the 09 season. And in 09, went over to Bangor High School, spent 4 years over there teaching and coaching, and had the opportunity to come back here in 2013 when Gabby Price got hired back, and I've been here ever since. So I've been in education. I've been a teacher, 7 years at the public school level, and full-time here at Husson for just about 13 years and 15 years overall. I'm from Bangor. I went to Bangor High School. I went to a prep school called Bridgeton Academy for 1 year, a post-grad prep school, and then spent 4 years at the University of Maine, and then got into my career. And got a wife, Jill. She's a first grade teacher here in town, and 3 great kids, 11th grade, 9th grade, 7th grade, and happy to be part of this Bangor community. And say to myself all the time, very lucky to not only live in the same town I grew up in, but to be a college head football coach in that same town is truly remarkable.
Awesome. Thanks, Nat. And how about you, Frank? Tell us a little bit about yourself and your background and your time at Husson.
Well, I just started thinking about that because I knew you were going to ask me that question. And I am coming up on my 7th anniversary at Husson, which will be on October 1st, 7 years ago that I started. This is my 4th collegiate athletic director job, totaling 25 years. Just delighted to be at Husson. It's a great place with great people, and we've been able to do some exciting things. My background is in coaching, is in football, so I stick my nose in often, and try to help out wherever I can. But no, I'm only kidding. I don't stick my nose in at all. Been the AD at, as I said, four other places, so kind of have made my share of mistakes. And like any activity, you learn from your mistakes.
Awesome, thanks, Frank. So let's bounce around the room a little bit here to our student athletes who are on the call tonight. Frank, you're at the top of my screen, so how about you go first and just kind of tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe where you're from, what your major is, and what got you involved and drew you to the Husson football program.
Awesome. So I played defensive line here at Husson University, and my major is business with a concentration in marketing. After I graduate Husson, I hope to pursue a career in sales in the flooring industry. From Portland, Maine, I played 4 years of football at Cheverus, and unfortunately, my senior year at Cheverus, I tore my meniscus in my right knee playing lacrosse, which led to surgery, and that led me to not be able to participate in my first year of college football, which brought me a bunch of emotions. But Coach Clark and at the time Coach Price they still invited me to come to the preseason, the whole season, knowing that I wasn't able to play a snap. I could barely run at that time, which was kind of eye-opening to me because it really showed me that these coaches are looking out for me as a man more than just a football player, which gave me a lot of motivation to play hard for them. As soon as I arrived at Husson, I was greeted with great emotions. I was immediately welcomed to the team. And fortunate enough, I was granted a injury red shirt, which gave me an extra year of eligibility. So I'm currently entering my 5th season at Husson and ready to compete.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks, Frank. So I want to see if I heard you correctly. Did you say you're looking to get into sales in the flooring industry?
Yep.
What's drawing to that specifically? Is it a family business or something?
I just have some connections. I've done an internship. My dad works in the flooring industry. So just relationships.
Awesome. Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Frank.
Yep.
Jacob, how about you next?
Hi, I play offensive line at Husson. I'm a senior as well. I'm in the criminal justice program. I'm going for my master's degree in criminal justice with a concentration in national corporate security. Similar to Frank, I couldn't play immediately when I got to Husson either. I actually started in the spring of 2017 after suffering an injury at a postgraduate school. And the coaches there, Coach Price, Coach Clark, all the other coaches, they all welcomed me in with open arms and motivated me to rehab and come along and take that chance of playing college football. And it's the best decision I ever made. You know, I made great friends and great relationships, and I'm in a way better position now than I would have been if I just, called it a career after that injury. So I'm very thankful for this opportunity. And even though we're not playing games this fall, it's definitely awesome to still be playing the game that I grew up playing and loving.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Jacob, what's drawing you to national corporate security?
It's just kind of always been an interest of mine. I always wanted to be in the Secret Service because I used to see him stand there, in front of the president in the suits and the sunglasses, and I thought it was cool. And then the more I actually got into the studies of it and realized what it entailed, I realized it kind of was something that I was interested in. Being an offensive lineman, it's kind of in our nature to protect. So that kind of brought me to it as well. It's kind of just been part of my nature my whole life. And, the criminal justice field, my aunt, she's been a dispatcher in my hometown. So I grew up, around the police department in a good way. So
Sure.
That definitely helped me, initiate that interest as a kid.
Awesome. Awesome. That's terrific. That's terrific. Thank you, Jacob. And Tyler, how about you?
I play wide receiver here. My major is criminal justice. And after I graduate here at Husson, I want to go down to Washington, D.C. and work law enforcement, like Secret Service or something. And my journey is a little bit different than theirs. I actually transferred in from our rival, Western New England. And when I was there, 3 weeks in, I was like, I knew I didn't want to stay there. And I remember calling my mom, and I was just like, I'm going to Husson. Never even stepped foot on Husson's campus. Didn't even know what it was, but I told her I was going to Husson, packed my bags after the semester, went up, and it was the best decision of my life. Coach Price, Coach Clark, they were really good to me, and I just fit in perfect here. So best decision I've ever made.
That's awesome. Tyler, what's one of the highlights that you've had in the past year or so on the team that helped solidify your decision to come into Husson?
The biggest highlight I've ever had here was probably the game we won in overtime last year against Salve Regina on senior day.
Nice.
It's the best feeling ever.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I love it. So I'm just going to kind of yeah.
I don't mean to interrupt,
No,
but
please do.
But Frank and Tyler both they didn't say where they were from. They're both from Maine. Tyler's a Lisbon, Maine native, and Frank he mentioned Portland, and Jake's from New Hampshire. Frank and Jake are both captains here at Husson, and they're both all conference players. And Tyler's very humble. He didn't mention that he was selected all New England at the receiver position last year. They picked 4, and all in New England, he was one of 4. So they are all very accomplished football players as well as students.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Congratulations on that. So, Nat, I'm going to start with you. Looking over my notes here. The decision was made for athletic teams to not hold the games between schools this fall. What are some of the things your team's working on to keep the players and the coaching staff physically and mentally in shape this semester?
Well, the coaching staff, we got a long way to go to be physically in shape, Keith. So I'll answer that one later.
All
But
right.
as far as the students here, you know, our plan is pretty simple. For the next 6 weeks, we're going to practice 3 times a week on the field, and we'll be in the weight room 1 time a week, so 4 days a week. Those 6 weeks are divided into 2-week segments. So we're going to be in groups of 10 for 2 weeks. Right now, we call that phase 1. And that's groups of 10. We can have more than one group out there at a time. We have 4 groups or 5 groups at a time. Starting on week 3, we can go to phase 2, and that includes 50 at a time. So we'll go offense for a practice, defense for a practice. And then the last 2 weeks here, we'll go what they call phase 3, and that would be the entire team. So we'll be able to resume some sort of resemblance of a normal practice. And like I mentioned, we'll spend 1 day a week as a team in the weight room. We're limited. We can only have 22 in the weight room at a time. So we'll have to do it in 4 or 5 groups. And our guys are really resilient, Keith. They've done such a great job here so far in the first 7 or 8 days. You know, where we're masking all the time. They're in small groups, small classes. We've asked them to do a lot of different things. And if you ask me, they've just been outstanding. And we had a team meeting today, and I told the guys that. And I just admire their resilience and their flexibility. And those are just great qualities to have as they move on through life here, even after the pandemic's over.
That's terrific. That's terrific. I'm going to jump around in my questions, actually. That's a good lead in. So, you know, my question's coming from someone who was not a student athlete in high school or college. I did not participate in school sports, but I always admired the student athletes' ability to balance the hours of practice and games and meetings on top of the class schedule. So to the players, you know, what are some things that help keep your priorities in balance and help keep you focused? Because there's a lot on your plates right now. Some of you are going for master's degrees, so I'm assuming the workload's even higher on top of all the expectations for your athletic team. So tell me a little bit about what kind of keeps you on point and keeps you on track there. Nope.
Oh,
Still muted for somebody. There you go. Gotcha.
you got me?
Yeah, there we go.
All right. A big part of keeping my schedule right is everyone on the team gets an athletic planner, a student planner, which is a huge calendar and can allow you to plan your study times, your homework assignments throughout the week. That's one good activity you could use. And like you hit the nail on the head when you said priorities. You get your priorities right, because it comes down to, if you don't get that schoolwork done, you can't play. And if you care about the team and if you care about football, you'll get the work done no matter how you have to do it. If you need extra help, the team offers extra help. Well, that's what it comes down to. And that's my motivation, is really just being able to get on the field with my team.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, like what Frank said, you know, it kind of all ties in. You know, we have to have good grades to maintain our eligibility, you know, so if we're not staying on top of our studies, it takes away our ability to play football. So just knowing that in the back of your head, it kind of motivates you just a little bit more to study a little bit longer and try a little bit harder on exams and, you know, pay attention more in class, stuff like that.
Yeah, great. Anything else you want to add to that, Tyler?
I just feel that, like, if you do well in the class, you're going to do well in other parts of your life. So, like, if you do well in class, you're going to take that and use it on the football field. So you're going to be a better player. You know, you're going to learn better on the field and in the classroom.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. So Frank and Nat, you know, you've been here for several years, each of you. What are some of your memorable moments with the Husson football team over the years? Was there a specific team or a game or an incident that when someone asks you a question like this, what kind of jumps to the top of your mind?
Go ahead, Matt.
Okay, Frank. Well, we get the Schufelds on here, so I don't want to name a favorite team, because if I did name one of their teams, I think they might be upset, because they're all great. But there's a lot of different moments. I mean, Tyler already mentioned one this past fall against Salve Regina, overtime win. What he didn't mention was actually we were down 23-6 at halftime, and came back to win. So it was a tremendous comeback, and it was a great team win. I think back to 2003, Keith, and our first football game here at Husson was against Mount Ida College. Actually, the field went a different way than it does now. It went from left to right or left field to right field, and we had temporary bleachers, and we were so excited to have that first game here on campus, and that's a tremendous memory. The playoff win in 2017 when we beat Springfield College, and all the guys that listen to this from past teams know how we feel about Springfield College. So to beat them on their home field in 2017, we respect them very much, but obviously we don't like them. 2007 to beat them, it was just a great win on their home field. And then the next week we took a charter plane. Frank did a tremendous job getting us on this charter flight, and we chartered out of Bangor, and it was a tremendous experience for the coaches, the players, the managers, and Frank to put a team from Husson on their own plane and to fly to the second round of the playoffs. To me, that was just an unbelievable feeling. So there's all kinds of great memories, and mostly, Keith, just the players. And from 2003 till 2020, all the great kids we've had. We call the guys here at Husson guys, and that's a compliment, and that means a lot of different things. If you're a Husson guy, that's a great compliment, and we've had so many great Husson guys over the last 17 years.
Awesome. Thank you. Anything that jumps to mind for you, Frank?
Oh, that's easy. Definitely, I would echo Matt, the playoff win over Springfield and all the stuff that came along around it, like the charter flight and I can remember, I usually watch away games from on top of the press box with the coaches that are in the press box during the game. And when it became apparent that we're going to win this game, we all kind of leave the press box and head down to the sidelines. And I remember seeing John Smith bawling his eyes out on the field when the game was over. Just tears of joy and ecstasy, and what a great thing that was for our players and coaches.
That's wonderful. It's a nice moment right there. Frank and Frank Curran and Jacob, we talked already about, the balancing of your studies and your games and your practice and everything. As team captains, what does that also include on top of all that you're already balancing? What does that responsibility look like as team captain in your eyes?
Well, to be elected team captain is a tremendous honor. To know that Coach Clark and all the coaches and all the teammates elected and count on me to lead them through thick and thin, on and off the field, it's a great honor. And how I try and lead is I try to just lead by example, set the tone as soon as I'm on the field. As soon as I step on the field, I try to set the standard for everybody else to follow. And that is by just competing as hard as I possibly can every time I'm on the field, to leave nothing when you leave the field, and to just keep grinding every single day. And another huge priority I have being team captain at Husson is to bring the entire team as one unit. I believe that the game of football is built upon a family foundation, because if you think about it, offense and defense, you're always counting on the man next to you. And if you bring the team together as one unit, one heartbeat, that team's going to be hard to beat.
I agree completely with what he said. It's definitely a tremendous honor. And, looking back at the captains before us, just to see the example that they had, they left for us, Frank and I, as freshmen and sophomore, and the guys before that, just to carry on that legacy. It's definitely a huge honor to have that role in the team. And like Frank said, bringing everyone together is a huge thing. The brotherhood of the game is really what helps us win the games on Saturday. Just knowing that guy next to you is going to do his assignment, and he's going to leave it all on the field for you no matter what happens. It's definitely an honor to be a captain. And there's pressure at times, but there's a lot of glory with it as well, which comes along with any title or position in any job. So like Frank said, you just got to show up every day and give it your all, and never take a play off, and always be there for the guys who need that little bit of help. The younger guys looking up to you, or the guys who might be a little confused on an assignment, just be another set of eyes and ears on the field just to help your brothers and be there for whoever might need it.
So there's some leadership there, obviously, but some mentorship in many ways as well, it sounds like, on a variety of levels.
Definitely.
What you guys are doing. So Tyler, are these guys the real deal, or are they just telling me what I want to hear?
Yeah, they're the real deal.
I'm just teasing. You don't have to answer that. I'm just teasing. I'm just teasing. So back to Nat and Frank, what makes Husson sports special or unique when you compare them to other schools? What makes Husson a special place to be? And that's its athletic department, and its football team. What makes it unique?
Start, Frank? Or
Yeah,
Frank's
sure. I'll
on.
go first. I'd say we have great people, starting with Dr. Clark, the president, who is very supportive of everything that we try to do. Excellent coaching staff. We're able to recruit solid young men and women here. And I think the reasons we're able to recruit, we have great facilities. You come to our campus and it's an impressive array, no matter what sport you're in. We have a wide variety of academic offerings that are attractive to young men and young women, from the majors these guys talk about in terms of criminal justice and business and physical therapy and nursing and all the those academic offerings really give us an edge over the opposition.
Excellent.
Well, I'll kind of build off that, Frank. I mean, obviously those are all great things, and certainly agree with everything Frank said there. I think the thing, one of the unique things is our location. Bangor, Maine. We're certainly not on every map here. For student athletes as we start recruiting, and I think Jake and Frank and Tyler all kind of gave their story on how they got here. All different stories, all got here in different ways, whether they transferred or went to postgraduate or came right from high school. So I think what makes us unique is every one of our players has their own unique story, which makes us really great. And also, we've got kids from all over the country. In this year's roster, 2020, we've got a young man from Colorado. We've got a kid from Michigan. We've got, obviously, Maine and New England's a big part of our team. Florida. So we've had kids from all over the country, and I think that makes us really unique. We have tremendous diversity. We talk about it all the time. It's our greatest strength, having that much diversity here on the team and different views and different ways of life. To me, those are just all special things that we bring to Husson. Lastly, we're a non-scholarship program at Division III, meaning we don't offer athletic scholarships. So the passion that our student athletes in all sports have for their sport is simply amazing. I mean, they come here, they pay their own way, and they buy their own gear. What you see what those kids are wearing today, they buy that themselves, and they come to practice each afternoon or the meetings because they love it. And I'm going to tell you, as a coach, that's hard to find, Keith. And you can't duplicate that, the love that these guys have for not only Husson but their sport, and it makes a great place to work. Can you imagine going to work and being surrounded by people that truly want to be there and do something? That's why Husson's such a special place.
That's wonderful. I think that is definitely a unique situation for sure. And hearing from these athletes tonight, it sounds like they're excellent representatives of everything you just said there. So we're looking to the fall. This fall is looking a little different. To the students, what are some goals you have for yourselves this fall? Knowing things look a little different, feel a little different. What are some goals you have personally this fall, whether it's athletics, academics, combination of both? Where do you want to see yourself a couple months from now or into next year?
This fall, it's obviously not ideal with no games, but it's a great opportunity, from a team standpoint for us, to get together for these 6 weeks and, for the young guys to get acclimated to being a college athlete, and a college football player as well, because it takes a toll on your body as well. So, I tell this story kind of often, but, Frank and I, our first opportunity playing college football was in spring ball of 2017. So for spring ball, we just wear jerseys and we practice, I think it's 14 times. And that opportunity to just get with the team and get on the field and, balance school and as well as athletics, that was a huge opportunity for, both Frank and I. We talk about it all the time, just to be able to get out there and be with the team and build towards something. So this fall, it's kind of the same deal for, the freshmen as well as everyone, really. We get the opportunity to work together as a team, for the 6 weeks and start building on the 2021 season. We never look ahead, but we get to look forward to that. We get this time to look forward to playing again in 2021 and putting in, all the effort and all the hard work that it's going to take to win another conference championship.
Excellent. Tyler or Frank, do you have anything you wanted to share?
Yeah.
For me, it's not as much of the football side. It's more of like just sitting down and meeting my teammates and learning their stories, where they come from, what they've been through. So that's more important to me, I guess. Just create relationships with people from all over and get to know my new teammates.
Excellent.
Some goals that I have this fall is to, one, practice our new defensive schemes. Two, to become in top shape so when it's ready to compete, we can dominate as a team. And three, like I said earlier, is to really build that family foundation this year.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah, you guys throughout the call have touched on the building the relationships, and I had the opportunity to be part of the Athletics Hall of Fame Awards last year, and it was my first time attending an event such to that level. And what I mentioned to Frank and others after the event was the level of camaraderie amongst the teammates and the coaches and the families 5, 10, 20 plus years later was impressive. And it speaks not only to the program, but I think it's coming from the three of you guys as well tonight. And I can easily see you coming back 5, 10 years from now and having that close-knit sense of camaraderie to your teammates, to your coaching staff and whatnot. So I'm very much impressed with what you guys do day to day, and the level of commitment you have to yourselves and to the program is really impressive. Nat and Frank, final question before we kind of open it up to anything additional that our panel wants to add. But Nat and Frank, what are some goals that you guys have for the program this fall? If you could wave your magic wand and it's fall 2021, point A to point B, where would you like to be into this season, into next season?
Well, I think we would all like for the virus to go away.
Sure.
Just dealing with all of that topic and those issues during the summer just has certainly made life very interesting, if not, interesting and probably difficult would be the words to use. So I guess my goal is, part of it we've achieved, and now we've got our teams are here. Looks like our numbers in terms of squad sizes are as much as we could hope to expect, and so hopefully all of the student athletes that are here right now that are practicing with their coaches and get better and have some good experience, so that when we do play at some point down the road next spring or next fall, they're better than they were when we started this January, September. I'm sorry.
It's hard to know what month we're in or what day we're in. This is
just another day.
Yeah. It's hard to, Keith, sometimes it's hard to imagine what day. I have to ask my wife sometimes what day it is, because usually we're such routine people here in athletics that, Monday and football, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, games are Saturday, and Sunday we recover. And it's I think one of the goals is just to get back into some sort of routine here. And I think Frank hit it on the head. I mean, this summer, when we decided in July as a school and as a conference that we were not going to compete in athletics for the safety and the well-being of our students, the next step as a coaching staff here is we got to get the guys back on campus. And as Frank mentioned, we've been very successful. We have 108 football student athletes here right now on campus to participate in the fall, which is tremendous. I think we have 118, so we have 10 guys that are online. That doesn't include the first-year guys that may have deferred for a semester. But those are returning students. So we have 118 guys in the program right now, which is, during this time right here, it's just tremendous accomplishment for the players. Two, I think we just want to kind of establish our identity. Tyler kind of hit on that, coming back, seeing guys. learning about our teammates. That's what we do in preseason in August for the 3 weeks while we're not alone here, but we're without school and we're working in preseason in football. So that's a big part of it. And, you know, the goal would be to play in the spring. And as Frank mentioned, the virus to clear up here and so we could safely compete in athletics in the spring. And I don't know about these guys, but one of my most favorite times of the year besides, you know, the games and the preseason and going down the interstate on 2 coach buses with the team when the leaves change is those Friday nights dinners and meetings in the hotels. We're a pretty regimented group. We love that chicken parm on a Friday night and those team meetings. And I know the guys are laughing right there. And our snacks at 9:30. And those are the things that I really, you know, going to miss. And the goal is to get back to that routine. And I know Jared and Jordan here are listening. They know about those road trips and the great times we had. So we're very lucky here. Frank does a great job supporting us in the school, and he makes all that possible. So, again, I know I said a lot of things. There's a lot of goals, but really just to get back to our routine and be together. I think that's a big part of it.
Wonderful. Thank you, Nat. Before I open it up to questions from all of our audience today, anything else anybody on the panel wants to add that we didn't touch on? All right. Well, I'll turn it over to the audience for questions. Hi, Paula. You got us about halfway through. We are recording it, so you can go back and check out the start of it. Thank you for joining us tonight. And as soon as we get that recording, I'll let you know where that's housed if you want to check out the first few minutes of it. But I'll open up the audience for questions for Nat and Frank and the players. You unmuted, Sarah. You're on call, it looks like.
Oh, sure. I'll try to get people rolling. So as I said before, but in case anyone, I think Paula knows who I am, but I'm part of administration with Frank. And of course, as we've thought about students coming back and everything, one of our big concerns is our first-year students, because it's already a difficult time when they're away from home, oftentimes for the first time, and trying to get used to college-level work and the playing sports, and especially the know from experience with my son, the football program's amazing at pulling people in. So love to hear from the 3 students, and maybe especially Tyler, because he talked about building relationships, of ideas or thoughts you have of ways we can get these, all of our students, but in particular our first-year students and perhaps the first-year football students engaged, and so that they end up having a great first semester and they're ready to come back.
I would say, like, the best way to do that would be, like, just having different kind of events, like game nights and just things like that. Helps build the team a little bit stronger. So, yeah.
So you guys will be having, the football players will be having cribbage tournaments and cornhole tournaments, maybe football versus field hockey?
That's what it takes, yeah.
I know, you got to be careful, those field hockey girls. They got sticks.
Yeah.
I believe in my guys.
I know a lot of guys, you know, first-year guys, they feel a little nervous coming up to older guys and talking to them. So personally, I like to initiate the conversation with the younger guys so that they know that they have someone to talk to. You know, they don't have to think about it as, you know, they're freshmen, first-year guys, and we're older guys. Like, we're a family now. Like, you're part of the team. And, you know, like Coach said today, like, you guys have made the team. Everybody here makes the team. If you're sitting in this meeting, you know, if you're part of the locker room, if you're out there at practice, you're part of the team, and you're just as important if you're the number 1 guy or the number 108 guy. It doesn't matter. You know, every single person means something. So when I see them, you know, whether it's in the hallway, give them a fist bump, you know, whatever it is, just to say hi to them, make them feel welcome. You know, I think that means a lot, because I know it meant a lot to me when I first got on campus and I got to meet the upperclassmen, and they would say hi to me first, you know, because I was nervous to say hi to them because I didn't know if they even knew who I was yet. So it's definitely, from personal experience, something as simple as that can go a long ways for a first-year guy who's still trying to get acclimated and, you know, feel at home, their new home away from home.
Any additional questions from our audience? Anything you want to ask the coaches or players? All right. Well, thank you again, everyone, for joining us tonight. Thank you to Nat and Frank Jacob and Tyler for joining us. We've all kind of been doing this Zoom thing for several months now, and it's still not as terrific as face-to-face, but this felt like a very natural conversation. So I appreciate all of you guys and participating tonight and sharing your love of the team and then of the program and of Husson, and got to learn a little bit more about each of you. So thank you so much. Next Tuesday, we're going to have baseball head coach Chris Morris and Frank and several of the baseball players on from 7 to 8. So if you want to join us, you can, if you haven't registered already, you can register on that site or shoot me an email at alumni@husson.edu, and I can get you registered for that. And again, the recording will be up on our soon to be arriving alumni YouTube page in the upcoming weeks. So please feel free to share that with other students, parents, friends, alumni, whomever you feel see fit there for that. So thank you again, everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll catch you again.
Thank you.
Keith, thanks.
Everyone, stay safe.
Thank you.
Keith, thanks a lot. Great idea.
You're welcome.
good idea.
Yeah.
You're welcome. Thanks again, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks for all your help.